Brethren, lads, welcome back to Kossi's Arsenal podcast. My name is Kossi. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are in all parts of the world. Welcome back to the channel. Welcome back to a brand new video. We're going to be diving into Mikel Arteta's press conference after the Brentford game and also the injury news, the team news around the team. Of course, it is 1.5 weeks for us to deal with our injury problems, but Martin Odegaard, Alexander Zinchenko, and William Saliba are all injury problems currently. Hit the like button for me, subscribe to the podcast as well. I'm going to be updating you throughout this period without football. I'll be telling you anything concerning Arsenal players. So if a player goes out with the national team and picks up an injury, do not worry, I will be letting you know, because I hope and pray no Arsenal player actually picks up an injury. So starting off with the team news. Now, Martin Odegaard didn't play yesterday against Brentford. The big question was, what happened exactly with Martin Odegaard? Initial stories from The Athletic did say that he was not actually seriously ill. He was not seriously injured. It was just a small knock. However, we are still waiting for the doctor's words. We're still waiting for Mikel Arteta's confirmation. I'm so surprised that in the press conference after the game, he actually didn't talk about Martin Odegaard. I was very, very surprised. But so, look, the team doctor and the physio should be able to provide us with a very, very quick update with Martin Odegaard. But he didn't play because of a slight knock, according to David Ornstein and The Athletic. Look, I think it's the biggest miss we can ever have in our season. Who knew that Martin Odegaard would be such an important player in Arsenal? Many people never wanted to sign him. Many people thought James Maddison would have been the better player to sign and all that, including myself. But he's just grown into a very important figure in this Arsenal side. Very charismatic. His performances as just leading as a captain. So we miss him. We missed him in the Brentford game. The creativity was a little bit lacking. Let's hope it's not something something serious. I'm going to try to see if he plays for Norway. If he plays for Norway, that means he's absolutely all right. In my mind, I think Mikel never wanted to risk him, for that game, just to make sure that he takes he takes the precautions that are necessary. You have Tottenham, we have Liverpool coming up. If you get any chance of resting your players, of rotating your squad, you definitely take it. Alexander Zinchenko is another player out with injury. 2 weeks is what has been suggested with calf muscle injury, something like that. Zinchenko, there is no update as well from the Arsenal physio. So throughout this week or during the course of this week, we expect a very important update on both Alexander Zinchenko and Martin Odegaard. One thing I will confirm with Alexander Zinchenko, he will not be joining up with the Ukrainian side for their UEFA Nations League and whichever kind of friendlies they're going to be playing. He won't be joining up with them. So that one is kind of a big scare when it comes to Arsenal. We have Tottenham, and you need Alexander Zinchenko. The next two fixtures demand that Arsenal have their best 11 available. So it's going to be 2 weeks, without football, without competitive club football. That is going to allow Alexander Zinchenko to heal and time for him to come back in the squad. Hopefully, by the time we play Spurs, he will be absolutely back. Now, there is some kind of, I don't know how I should call this, but Charles Watts from Goal.com has said William Saliba has played the recent games for Arsenal with a slight knock. Now, it is not a very, very big injury, so you might see him play for France. But if you don't see him join up with France, there is he has an issue. He's been feeling some kind of discomfort, in his foot, and that is why he hasn't been 100% fit. But of course, look, if he's been playing like that, half fit, if he's been playing like that, and he's not 100% fit, just imagine if he comes back to his 100% fitness level. So Saliba has a slight discomfort. He might not be available for France, probably in the first game, but in the later parts of their international break, he will be available. Martin Odegaard, not a big problem. We expect him to be back with Norway, and Alexander Zinchenko will be staying around. He has a problem for 2 weeks. The other big injuries, Emil Smith-Rowe could be back after I think October. Then Cedric Soares could be back during the course of October. Mohamed El Neni is out for some big period of time. and so is Reece Nelson. Now, Mikel spoke about the game and the overall performance and Granit Xhaka as well. So let's see what he spoke about in his post-match press conference. First and foremost, on whether it was a nice kickabout with the boys. Interesting, phrase there. He said, "I'm really pleased with the way we played, the performance, and how we controlled certain areas of the game that are very, very mandatory if you want to dominate against a club like Brentford. I'm really pleased to minimize the opportunities for them in the game." So, look, tactical masterclass in that game, Mikel Arteta. I just feel Arteta, Klopp, and Guardiola, and the likes of Graham Potter as well, do have so many advantages to their game. Because if your game plan is to dominate clubs, if your game plan is to be all over your opponents, literally it means in every game, in every 90 minutes, you have more chances of winning the game, you have more chances of having bigger possessions, and you have more chances of creating dangerous situations in dangerous areas. I just feel like Brentford were frozen. Arsenal really were at their best, and Brentford looked like a very unmanaged, uncoached side. But that is wide off the mark. Brentford are a very well coached side. They're a very well managed side, and you'll see in the next game, whether they play Chelsea, whether they play Liverpool, whether they play Manchester City, you will see it in their next game. They're always running. Thomas Frank talked about it, that we are always running as a club. We never stop running, and we never stop creating competition. But in that one, it was just a nice kickabout by with the boys. Now, on why Granit Xhaka has really improved this season, let's see what he said. He said his consistency and how he goes about every day, what he's learned in different moments of his career, whether here or with the national team. Also his willingness always to stay humble, look forward, and try to get better. And when you do that, normally good things really, really happen. Now, listen, I think Xhaka has matured. You know the way we talk about Pedri, Saka, an old head on young shoulders. It was the opposite with Granit Xhaka. He had a young head on old shoulders. And, right now it just feels like Xhaka is acting his age, a leader, a good player, the experience, the pedigree. He's acting like a player who's been around this football club for 7 years, eventually. And for me, it is partly due to Mikel Arteta. When a manager gives you a clean slate, because when Mikel came in, he gave a clean slate to every player, just like Erik ten Hag. He gave, when these tactical, players, tactical managers come in, they will give you a clean slate. But it is different from getting a clean slate and getting that extra belief from a manager. For me, that extra belief is what has made Granit Xhaka a better player, because to an extent that the manager has created a new role for him, it is amazing. It is truly, truly amazing. Look, last campaign, he's one of the players that played the most number of games for Arsenal. If he doesn't pick up an injury, he just looks unlikely to pick up a red card, right? Because, those heated situations, he's no longer getting involved. So if he doesn't pick up an injury, you can argue that he's going to play 38 games for Arsenal. That's what I'm going to say. More than 38 games for Arsenal, because we've already seen him play even in the Europa League, when the likes of Odegaard are rested, when the likes of Saka, Martinelli are being rotated. Xhaka is playing every game. He's playing every minute. And you love it. You just love it, don't you? On Xhaka leading, being the captain in that game, he said absolutely he was demanding it as well. I think he feels now that that love and respect, both ways. You see our supporters, the way they were singing to him as well emotionally. That makes him try to give even more. I'm more pleased for him, because in my opinion, he really, really deserves it. And for the 100th time on this channel and on this podcast, Xhaka deserves every inch of respect he's getting right now. He deserves every inch of love he's getting right now. And those performances guarantee him to be one of the best performers, one of the most consistent performers for Arsenal right now. Because if I go game by game, even in the Manchester United game, right, I don't remember a player who has played consistently well throughout the 7 games we've played this campaign. I can't remember one. Yes, Saliba, but not to that level of consistency. Ramsdale, not to that level of consistency. Ben White, not to the level of consistency as Xhaka. So he deserves it. I'm okay with that. He deserves it. I think Mikel is right. On whether Fabio Vieira can have a starting place in the starting lineup, he says, I think he's having a good progression. Obviously, missed the whole of preseason due to injury. That was really unlucky, but we know his talent, the reasons why we signed him, and what he can bring to the team. To do it against Brentford at this ground on his debut is a different story. He showed again his character and his qualities. You know, Fabio Vieira, this season, I don't see him start for Arsenal. I don't see him. I don't see him making it to more regularly to the starting 11. It's gonna be more of a squad player for rotation purposes. But the quality, he's one of those few players where you feel like, he's just scared, right? He's just scared to try and do what he's capable of. But the moment he gets that confidence, the moment he gets that belief in himself, and that is not going to come. Easily. It's going to come with a lot of time, a lot of combinations, a lot of training, a lot of partnerships. He has a very good partnership with Gabriel Martinelli off the pitch. If he can execute that on the pitch, it's going to be better. Now, yesterday we saw him play closely to Bukayo Saka, if you saw that. And last season it was Martin Odegaard. This season it could be Fabio Vieira. There is a lot of quality in that guy. Just wait for him. On his best role, on Vieira's best role in the team, says that is something that still needs to be decided in those 2 attacking midfield positions for sure. He's played off the side as well, so it's more about the relations that he has in the unit and on his side, and where he is more comfortable. But the position he played today fits him very, very well. I don't think he wants to play as a number 10. I think he wants to play just as an attacking midfielder, where Xhaka is playing. He wants to be one of the highest, one of the highest positions. He wants to occupy one of the highest positions on the pitch. But again, he wants to have all the freedom, all the space, all the time on the ball. One thing, when you see a good player, you will notice they're always in space. They're always asking for the ball, and they're always available to receive and available to distribute. Those qualities are with Martin Odegaard, are with Thomas Partey, are with Fabio Vieira, and most importantly, Gabriel Jesus and Gabriel Martinelli. So with Fabio Vieira, what is his most important role in the team? Creating chances. Where is his best position? I don't know. But for me, I want to see a game where Xhaka doesn't play. It could be far away in the future. But I want to see a game where Xhaka doesn't play and Fabio Vieira occupies one of the attacking midfield roles, and then Odegaard occupies the other. I want to see the kind of sauce we would be producing. I think we would be saying what's up, honestly. Just like HS says, we would be saying a lot of what's up in that game. And Fabio Vieira taking risks. He says he's like this. He's a creative player. He needs to play with his gut feeling and his instinct. That is what he needs to do, and we need to create as many scenarios for him as possible to put his talent to the service of the team. What I like as well is the way he competes and the way he went about the ugly part of the game really impressed me. Now, this is a true manager. This is a real manager. Honestly, Fabio Vieira's opening minutes to the game were really ugly, right? But most players when they are on their debut and they have a bad start, it's gone. It's a game gone. But the way he reacted, right? And Mikel Arteta also noticed, right? Because for me, the first half, he was absolutely anonymous. Let's be honest. How many touches was he averaging in the first half? Very, very few. But in the second half, you saw him in spaces. You saw him demanding for the ball. And you saw him trying to make those through balls. I think one for Saka, one for Gabriel Jesus. And then the other was for Gabriel Magalhaes or Ben White. I think the other ball was to find Ben White. So, I mean, he evolved in the game, right? He picked up his confidence. He picked up his belief the moment he scored that goal. So, he's going to be a good player. He's going to be a fantastic player. On Ethan Nwaneri becoming the youngest player in the Premier League, he said it was a pure gut feeling. I met the boy. I really liked what I saw. Obviously, and the academy staff gave me really, really good information about him as well. I met him. He's really trained a couple of times with us as well. Yesterday, he had to come because we had the injuries, especially to Martin. And then I had that feeling from yesterday that if the opportunity could come, that I was going to do it, and I just did it. So I don't think Ethan Nwaneri is gonna be a permanent member of our squad currently at 15. You know, if you're going to be a permanent member of the 25-man squad at 15, you need to be so exceptional. Now, is Ethan Nwaneri exceptional? That remains to be judged by the performances he's going to bring in. But the fact that he just came on and we have the record now, it's just impressive. It's just impressive. I think the record was with Harvey Elliott at Liverpool. Now it is with Arsenal. But I don't think it's going to be, I don't think it's going to be a major part of the squad. At 15, you're rushing him. You're really, really rushing him. You just need him to, be part of the under-23s, develop better, become a better player. But again, I've seen links to Liverpool, links to Chelsea, links to Manchester City. They're shameless. They're absolutely shameless, right? On whether it's a reward for Ethan to play in the Premier League, it says it's another step, another experience in your career. All the steps are going to be forward. After that, maybe needs three backwards to go to another one forward. But as well, I think it sends a really strong message about who we are as a club. On Gabriel Martinelli's performance, he says in a year, if you look at the game that he played here a year ago and today, it's just incredible how fast they grow, how they mature, they recognize situations, execution level, the understanding, and even physically, he looks a different player. I thought he was really, really good again today. Look, I asked you this question in the match reaction. Do we judge Martinelli based on his flair, or do we judge him based on his statistics and numbers, or both? Because based on his flair and hard work, and moves off and on the ball, he's Arsenal's most talented player, guys. He's Arsenal's most talented player. Let alone Martin Odegaard. Odegaard is gifted, but Martinelli is so talented. Played very well for me, but he needs to take those chances that come his way. For example, for me, I don't want to blame Martinelli 100% for the first chance, because Xhaka should have taken a shot. He was through on goal. I just looked at that chance again. He was through on goal. Take the fucking shot. But Martinelli, when the ball is cut back to you, it just takes 1 or 2, 3 defenders out of the game, right? You need to be strong and find the bottom corner. But again, he's really developed very well. On comparing the performance against the defeat we suffered last campaign, he said it is true that we replaced the players with different players as well. We have to be honest with that, and what a lot of people described as a bad day, as an embarrassing day. I looked at it as a character building day, and if you want to become a different team, you have to learn from those moments, to go through those moments, and then days like today happen. Everybody is really happy in that dressing room. It feels the way we play, that we are enjoying our football, and it's really another step in the right direction. And finally, if we are title contenders, wow. In the comment section, let me know. Mikhail thinks Because he says, you can ask me every day. Today we are top of the league. I'm so happy. Yesterday I was annoyed because we lost it, and we used that today as we want to get back there and show that we want to be there, and that's what we are going to do. Push to be the best that we can be, and that's the main aim. And then the table won't lie after 38 games. So, our Arsenal title contenders, Mikel says we want to push, and after 38 games, where we will be is where we will be. I'll talk to you in the next one. We'll be discussing William Saliba's interview. We'll be talking about the team news and some of the news around Arsenal. The transfer daily is coming up. It will be live, so make sure you don't miss it at exactly 8 p.m.